So grateful to have you here with us, Joy. So I'll just turn the time over to you first to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you do for Intermountain, and then you can jump into your Live Well moment.
Yeah, I am Joy Musselman. I am currently serving as the Director of Clinical Nutrition in Canyons and Deserts. And that just means that I support our amazing dietitians here at Intermountain Health. And I see a few of them on the call today. So that's super fun for me, maybe just a little bit intimidating. So I will share my screen here. And as a dietitian, you might be expecting me to talk about nutrition. I'll bring in just a little piece of that, but actually wanted to share a little bit about my personal journey with stress management. That's been one of my Live Well focuses for me this year. And I think the holidays can be pretty stressful for people. And so wanted to share just a few tips that have worked for me. The first one is that, and this is pretty foundational, I've had to just be really clear on what I feel like are my life priorities. And I use that understanding and clarity to help drive how I spend my time and the decisions that I make. The second thing that I've done a lot of personal work on is around my own expectations for myself. So one of the things that I have done a lot of in the past is telling myself, oh, you should do this, or you should do this, or you should not do this, right? And should brings with it a lot of guilt and a lot of kind of punishing thoughts if you don't accomplish that. And so I have worked to shift my mindset to could. I could do this, or I could do that, or I could not do this, or I could not do that. And I even renamed my to-do list to a could-do list. And that way I accomplish a lot on it, which is amazing. But if there are items that hang out there that I don't quite get done, I find myself beating myself up less as a result. So definitely a mindset shift there. And maybe just one other brief example is telling myself, I don't have to make everything I do look like how somebody else does it. So if I'm planning a birthday party for my kids, I can choose based off of my priorities if I make that a simple birthday party or if I make it a really elaborate birthday party. But knowing that the most important thing in that is that I'm recognizing and celebrating the birth of my child really gives me the ability to choose how far or how little I go. The next thing that I've done is I've tried to identify and minimize my stress contributors. And we all have things that contribute to stress in our lives, and they look different for everybody. So one thing that is maybe unique to me is that I can get really stressed out by things. Just the fact that if I have an item in my house, then I feel like I have to clean it or maintain it, or even if it's just sitting on a table, I have to dust it. So I'm pretty intentional about not bringing extra physical items into my life if I don't feel like the joy that they bring overwhelms the potential stress. So I'm pretty clear in things like that contribute to stress in my life. One of the other things that I've had to get really used to is not saying yes to everything. I like to say yes. It makes me feel good to be able to say yes. But I've also learned that it's important to say no. And for me, the comfortable way to say no is often with a counter offer. So helping them find somebody else who could do that request, or telling them I can do a portion of the request, just not everything that they're asking, or maybe it's at a different time than when they're originally asking, and seeing if that's okay as well. The fourth thing I've done is to invite and accept support. So as somebody who likes to be very independent, it is not always comfortable for me to ask for help, but I think we all need help and none of us can do it alone. And that's one of the most wonderful things about Intermountain is the community of support that we do have. So some examples of how this shows up in my personal life. I have even just today had a conversation with my teenage son about rescheduling his own dentist appointment. So it can be something really small like that, but that's something he can do that I don't necessarily have to do, and it helps him to learn and grow. Or another thing, as a dietitian, I feel like home-cooked family meals are an important part of my family life. They don't need to happen every single day, but I would like them to happen the majority of the days in a week. And I was finding with my work schedule that it was really hard to get dinner cooked and prepared before the different members of my family would leave to go to their different evening activities. And so one of the things that I've done is I've hired a girl in the neighborhood to come in and do my meal prep for me and help cook dinner. And that has been a huge stress reliever for me. It helps me to fulfill my key intent of spending time with my family, eat healthy, and not get stressed out by it. The last thing that I wanted to share was just to find your own coping techniques that are actually effective. So for me, I find that in the moment when I do experience stress, that sometimes I'll try to just distract myself. So that for me looks like scrolling through the internet or social media. And that doesn't really actually help me decrease my stress in that moment. But what I have found is that if I'll do some breathing exercises or some mindfulness exercises, or if I'll actually go physically take a walk or exercise, that those, for me anyway, are effective stress coping mechanisms. So I've tried to, when I realize I'm experiencing stress, remind myself, okay, distractions are not going to be as helpful as some of these other activities that will have some stress relieving benefit. So those are a few tips that I'm sharing during this busy holiday season. And thanks so much, Cami, for letting me participate.
Thank you so much, Joy. Those are all really great tips, and I think very applicable to the majority of us. I heard really a theme of some self-compassion in there. Give a break,
Yes.
taking a break for yourself, for sure. So thank you for sharing that. It was so great to have you here today. I'm going to go ahead and switch us over to the stretch portion of Stretch with the Leader today. So let's go ahead and get up and add a little movement to our day, which hopefully will help with controlling your stress. A little bit of movement here. So let's start with feet, a little wider than hip width apart. Hands on hips, and just do some big hip circles. So hip lower back check-in. And as you start to move, just maybe start to notice your breath too. Take some big breaths. Go the other way. And as we move through our stretches today, just make sure you are stretching within your own range of motion. All right, go ahead and pause in the center here. We're going to take our feet and turn them a little bit to the left. So they both turn a little bit to the left, probably the left one a little bit more than the right, kind of up to you. We're going to take the right hand and do a big circle and then bring the arm back and let your head turn. So your head moves forward with your hand, your head turns as your arm goes back. So really big arm circles. Let's do 2 more on this side. Okay, now we're going to go the other direction. So reach it back, your head turns as your arm moves. And let's do just 1 more on this side. Okay, go ahead and switch your feet up. And we'll do the other side. So big circles back to start with. Move through the range of motion slowly and notice if this side feels maybe any different than the other side. Just trying to identify maybe where you might be a little extra tight at that maybe you weren't aware of. Last one this direction. Okay, other way. Go back and round and reach forward. Make them really big. Okay, we're just going to do 1 more. All right, go ahead and release the arms. We're going to take our feet forward. Go ahead and come down, hands supporting you on your thighs, and then take your left arm and release it. we're just gonna try and let it hang. So add just a little bit of movement and then use the momentum to keep the arm going. See if you can just really relax through that left shoulder. Just let the arm relax, the wrist relax. Okay, go the other way. Just a tiny bit of effort to get the arm going. Okay, let's switch sides. So go ahead and shift your weight into your left hand. Right hand releases. Just try and relax it real quick and then start some little circles. Get them a little bigger. Just really focus on just releasing the neck and the shoulder. And then slowly come to a stop. Then we'll go the other way. All right, use both hands on your thighs to let yourself come all the way back up to standing. We'll bring our feet in a little closer. Take a big inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, release the arms. Do it one more time. Big inhale up. And exhale, release the arms. All right, go ahead and take your hands straight out in front of you. What we're gonna do is pull our shoulders back and squeeze our shoulder blades together. And as you do that, your chest might pull forward a little bit. Now send your hands back really wide and then reach forward, keeping the shoulder blades back. And now reach the shoulder blades forward, round through the back, maybe look down at the ground. Okay, we'll stand up, shoulder blades go back, hands go back. Keep your shoulder blades back as you reach your hands forward and then reach them forward and round through the back. We're gonna do that one more time. Stand tall, shoulder blades retract, arms go wide, hands come forward and then reach it forward and round through the back. Okay, we're gonna release our hands to our thighs. Just go ahead and take kind of a half squat position, hands on thighs. We'll do some cat-cows from right here. So go ahead and pull your belly forward as you lift your head and lift your tailbone. And then we're gonna round through the back, really big. Do that a couple more times. See if you can add some big breaths to it. Move on one, inhale, and then move on the other, and exhale. All right, go ahead and stand all the way up. Just relax the legs for a second. Shake the arms out a little bit. We're gonna do some head circles. A few circles today. So go ahead and take left ear to left shoulder. And then chin is gonna drop towards the chest as you roll the head over to the right shoulder. And then we'll reverse the direction. So just going side to side at your own speed. Let's do one more each side. And bring the head back to the center, and we're going to slowly roll down through the spine. So drop the chin to the chest, round through the shoulders, start to roll down through the mid-back, then the lower back. Let your arms hang until you get to a position that feels okay. Make sure knees stay soft. And then we're going to slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, reversing the order. Lower back, then mid back, then upper back, then head. Okay, you guys are all done. Thanks so much for joining today.